Hello everyone, welcome to Astrology Chunks. Today I'm talking about the seven wealth giving nakshatras. If you have any of these nakshatras in your birth chart, you have a strong potential to build significant wealth at some point in life. But before we move ahead and list these nakshatras, you need to understand one important point. Simply having these nakshatras doesn't guarantee wealth. Their results become strong only when they are connected to specific houses in your birth chart. This is based on Vedic astrology, not tropical astrology. So, to calculate your birth chart, you need your exact date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth. Then you have to generate your Vedic chart using any reliable online software. So, for wealth indication, these seven wealth giving nakshatras must be connected to your first house, second house, or 11th house in your chart. By connection, it means either the lord of these houses is placed in these nakshatras or any planet placed in these houses is in these nakshatras or even the ascendant falling in one of these nakshatras. Why the first, second, and 11th houses matter so much when we talk about wealth? Well, the first house represents your entire life direction, your personality, and your main purpose in this world. If this house is connected to a wealth giving nakshatra, it shows that the person's core focus naturally moves toward material success. Such a person is mentally wired to think about growth, status, and financial progress. Either they learn how to build wealth over time or they attract it through opportunities and luck. In simple words, wealth becomes a central theme of their life. Now, coming to the second and 11th houses, these are the main wealth houses. The second house is about wealth accumulation. It shows how well a person can save money, manage resources, and build financial stability over time. Even if income is average, a strong second house can make someone financially secure because they know how to hold and grow what they have. The 11th house, on the other hand, represents gain and income. It shows how much money a person can earn, the opportunities they receive, and how easily they attract financial inflow. A strong 11th house can bring large gains, networks, and multiple income sources. So, some people earn a lot because their 11th house is strong, but they may not save much. Others may not earn extremely high amounts, but because their second house is strong, they build solid wealth through saving and smart financial habits. That's why, to truly understand someone's financial potential, you must analyze both the second and 11th houses along with the first house. If someone has their first, second, or 11th house connected to these seven wealth giving nakshatras, then the potential for wealth becomes very strong for them. Otherwise, simply having a wealth giving nakshatra alone is not enough. Almost all the wealthy individuals I have analyzed show these connections in their charts. Now let's explore what those seven wealth giving nakshatras are. The first one is Bharani Nakshatra. Bharani falls between 13 degree 20 minutes to 26 degree 40 minutes in the Aries sign. If this nakshatra is connected to your first house, second house, or 11th house, it indicates a strong potential for major financial gains in life. This nakshatra is ruled by Venus, so the source of wealth is very likely to be linked with Venetian themes. This can include luxury, fashion, clothing, beauty related industries, woman oriented products or services, and even vehicles or other luxury assets. In some cases, wealth may also come through marriage or association with a wealthy partner, since Venus also represents relationships and marriage. The next nakshatra is Punarvasu. Punarvasu falls within 20 degree of Gemini sign to 3 degree 20 minutes of Cancer sign. If Punarvasu is connected to your first, second, or 11th house in your chart, it shows strong potential for financial growth over time. This nakshatra is ruled by Jupiter, so the source of wealth is generally Jupiterian in nature. This often includes finance, investments, long term growth, and gains through wise financial decisions. It can also indicate wealth through higher management level positions in large organizations, higher education, advisory roles, or legal professions. In some cases, Jupiter's influence can also bring wealth through knowledge, teaching, religious activities, or guidance based work. Additionally, it may show gains through children or a husband if the native is female. The third nakshatra in this category is Magha. This nakshatra falls within 0 degree to 13 degree 20 minutes of Leo sign. Magha nakshatra is considered highly potent for wealth when it is associated with the first house, second house, or 11th house in the birth chart. Magha is ruled by Ketu. Ketu represents ancestral connections. So, wealth in this case can come through family legacy or inheriting or continuing a family business. Ketu also represents expertise in a specific niche, so it can show wealth through becoming highly skilled in a focused field and reaching top levels in that area. It is also linked with spirituality, so in some cases, wealth may come through spiritual or non material fields. Ketu is connected with past karma, so sudden or karmic financial gains are also possible. It is also associated with numbers and precision, so income can come through analytical skills, calculations, or number based work. Next is Sawati Nakshatra. This nakshatra falls within 6 degree 40 minutes to 20 minutes of Libra sign. When Sawati is connected with the first, second, or 11th house, it indicates strong potential for wealth. Swati is ruled by Rahu, which is associated with mass influence, media, marketing, and online platforms. This can show wealth through digital work, public reach, and large scale audiences. It can also indicate foreign connections or unconventional sources of income. Fields like media, filmmaking, production, or anything involving visibility and public exposure are commonly seen. Rahu also represents innovation and sudden gains, so wealth can come through unique or new ideas that are not traditional. The next nakshatra is Jyeshta nakshatra. This nakshatra falls within 16 degree 40 minutes to 30 degree of Scorpio sign. When Jyeshta is connected with the first, second, or 11th house, it can indicate strong financial potential. Jyeshta is ruled by Mercury, which represents communication, trade, business, writing, and analytical skills. Wealth here can come through trading, business activities, marketing, communication based profession, or working with data or numbers. It can also involve skills related to hands or strategy, networking, or coordination in business environments. After that is Shravan Nakshatra. This nakshatra falls within 10 degree to 23 degree 20 minutes of Capricorn sign. If Shravan is connected with the first, second, or 11th house, it indicates stable wealth potential. Shravan is ruled by the moon, so income sources are often connected to moon related themes such as food, hospitality, dairy products, real estate, caregiving, and public service. It can also show financial support from family, especially mother or mother like figures. In some cases, it can also indicate wealth through work related to emotional support, healthcare, or psychology related fields. Finally, Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. This nakshatra falls within 20 degree of Aquarius sign to 3 degree 20 minutes of Pisces sign. When this nakshatra is connected with the first, second, or 11th house, it shows strong wealth potential over time. It is associated with Jupiter, so the wealth sources are similar to Jupiterian themes such as finance, investments, education, law, knowledge based work, and advisory roles. It can also indicate wealth through intelligence, long term planning, or high level understanding of specific field. Rest is same as described for Punarvasu Nakshatra. Now, the next important point is understanding why these seven nakshatras are considered wealth giving. In Vedic astrology, all nakshatras are grouped into different life purpose categories, and one of these categories is called Artha. The word Artha literally means wealth, resources, material success, and practical achievements in life. When a nakshatra belongs to the Artha category, it means its natural energy is focused on building stability in the material world. These nakshatras are not just about earning money randomly, they are about creating value, managing resources, and achieving tangible results. People strongly connected to Artha nakshatras usually have a practical mindset. They think in terms of growth, security, and long term gains. They are naturally inclined toward careers, business, finance, or any field where results can be measured in material terms. Belonging to the ortho category also means the person is driven by real world needs. They want comfort, status, financial independence, and a stable lifestyle. Because of this strong inner drive, they often take consistent actions that lead to wealth creation over time. That's why these nakshatras are considered wealth giving, not just because of luck, but because their core nature pushes the person toward building and sustaining material success. Now let's take some examples. You can see a birth chart on your screen. This birth chart belongs to a famous politician. In this chart, you can clearly observe that the person has Leo rising. The second house is ruled by Virgo and the 11th house is ruled by Gemini. First, we check the ascendant. The ascendant falls in Magha Nakshatra, which is considered a strong wealth giving nakshatra. This already shows a high potential for financial success and status in life. Next, we check the Lord of the first house, which is the Sun. The Sun is not placed in any major wealth giving nakshatra. Then we check the second house and 11th house lords. Both houses are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is also not placed in a wealth giving nakshatra in this chart. However, there is a very important factor here. Mars is placed in the ascendant, that is the first house, and the Mars is in Magha Nakshatra. So now we have two strong confirmations of Magha influence. Both the ascendant and a planet placed in the ascendant are connected to one strong wealth giving nakshatra, Magha. And Magha is ruled by Ketu, so the wealth signature of this person should be strongly linked with Ketu themes. Now, if we look at the real life background of this person, he is widely known as a businessman turned politician, and his early wealth primarily came from his family business background, especially real estate and property development. He expanded this into large scale construction, luxury real estate projects, branding, and high value property deals, which formed the core foundation of this wealth and recognition. If we analyze his birth chart more deeply, Ketu, the lord of his wealth giving nakshatra Magha, is not only co ruling over his fourth house, it is also placed in the fourth house, which strengthens its effect further. The fourth house represents real estate, land, property, construction, and homeland based assets. This clearly indicates that the person's wealth is strongly connected with fourth house domains, especially real estate and property related businesses. Mars, the main lord of his fourth house, also sitting in the ascendant, further supports this. Also, Mars represents land, construction, engineering, and business driven action in astrology, so these all things have a lot of say in his wealth building. Additionally, a key part of his wealth story also comes through inherited support or family business background, which aligns with Ketu's connection to past lineage and ancestral influence. So, overall, the wealth in this chart is primarily driven by a strong wealth giving nakshatra Magha's influence. Now, moving to the next chart, you can see on your screen another birth chart. This chart belongs to a famous athlete who became extremely wealthy. As you can see, this person has a Cancer ascendant. First, we check the ascendant nakshatra and it is not placed in any wealth giving nakshatra. So we move to the key house lords of the first, second, and 11th houses. His ascendant lord is the moon, and the moon is placed in Jyeshta nakshatra, which is a big wealth giving source in his chart. If we check his second house lord, the Sun, and his 11th house lord, Venus, both are not placed in any wealth giving nakshatra. We also see two planets placed in the ascendant, Rahu and Mars, but neither of them is in wealth giving nakshatra. So, overall, the strongest wealth giving connection here is the moon, placed in Jyeshta nakshatra. Now, Jyeshta is ruled by Mercury, so the wealth indication becomes Mercury driven. This means wealth is connected with Mercury related themes such as communication, networking, interaction, trading, and skill based activity. In this chart, Mercury rules his third house and the 12th house, and it is placed in the seventh house, which represents partnerships and public dealings. Mercury is also associated with skillful hand coordination and performance based abilities, which connects directly with supports and physical expertise. Now, if we look at how this person built his wealth, he first gained money and fame through his exceptional performance in sports at the highest level. This is strongly connected with the third house influence of Mercury, which represents hand skills, coordination, practice, effort, and physical dexterity. Through continuous effort and mastery of physical skills, he established himself in competitive sports. After gaining success in sports, he further expanded his wealth through business endorsements, sponsorships, and brand partnerships. This is where the seventh house Mercury becomes important, as it represents partnerships, contracts, and commercial associations. Mercury is also aspected by Mars in his chart, which adds strong competitive energy, drive, and athletic performance, reinforcing success in sports. At the same time, Mercury is placed with Saturn and Ketu, showing discipline, long term mastery, and specialized skill development in a highly focused area. So, overall, the wealth pattern here starts with sports performance through third house, Mercury influence, and then expands into a large scale business and partnerships through seventh house Mercury, supported by Mars, Saturn, and Ketu influences. So, this was the entire video. I hope you have learned something from it, and it actually makes sense when you connect it with real examples. As you have seen in the example charts, how these wealth giving nakshatras play out their themes in different birth charts. So, if you also have this type of setup in your birth chart, you are very likely to gain a significant amount of wealth over time. Of course, the level of wealth can vary from person to person, but at least there is a strong potential for financial growth if these wealth giving nakshatras are connected with your first house, second house, or 11th house. I hope you liked this video and I will meet you in the next one.